Hey everyone, Darren Benson with Performance Motorcoaches. This is a final and follow-up video to the two videos we did last Monday when we were driving this rig back from Indiana. This is our very first 2024 Renegade XL. They made lots of improvements to the XL product line from 23 to 24. We'll kind of go over some of those. I will kind of course, give you some of my thoughts and feelings on the unit. Some people appreciate it, some people don't. And if you don't appreciate my thoughts, you can scroll to the next video of maybe cats playing or something like that. But anyway, it is a 2024 XL. This is a 43 dB, which actually measures not 43, but closer to 44 because of the 116 chassis. So originally they were just building on the 126 chassis, which is, this is the longer hood. So if you see this little strip right there, that'll be your first kind of clue that you are dealing with a 126 versus the 116. The 126 has a 600 horsepower. The 116 has a 525 horsepower. So a little bit difference in power there. It looks a little bit different, but it's the same basic Cascadia cab itself. This one is a 600 horsepower Detroit, so it's a DD16. However, this has the Allison transmission. My preference is the DT transmission. However, this was the unit that, this basically our first one. Everything else is sold for quite some time. So I was just happy to get one to kind of play with. We did drive it back. I drove with my foot on the floor. You know, there's not many hills and mountains between here and Indiana. So I mean, it runs fine at 75 miles an hour, which is faster than most people drive. I just like the additional gears in the hills. But normal driving, you're pulling a car, you probably won't ever know any real difference. It does have a lot more acceleration off the line itself. So we'll kind of talk about aesthetically what's different. So they kind of copied what they were doing on the Renegade Explorer. So they have elevated front and rear caps. However, definitely a lot nicer interior-wise. They basically took a step up from the Classic. Didn't go all the way to the Icon. So they don't have the flush floor slides, the very expensive slide mechanisms. While they look great on the Icons, and we've never sold a new Icon, really not a fan of those because when they break, it's a major issue. We've had lots of people come to us for service on their Icons, and the number one thing we see is the slide out. So simplicity isn't a bad thing. So they're still running the Schwintek slide. They're running a hydraulic slide, which introduced in 23. I take that back, 24. Think about this for a minute. It was first introduced in 24, however, this is kind of late in the year for us having a 24. So this one will be a hydraulic slide. One thing that kind of was unique that I noticed in regards to having the hydraulic slide on this side, because of the floor plan, you normally see the aqua hot over here. So when we do this, you know, the CMR, even we've done a few 43 dBs, because they run the 600 aqua hot, it's taller, so they can't fit in the compartments right here. We have a little bit less room on there on the other side, so that's the reason why you'll see the inverters over here. This is a combined storage compartment, which was one of the additions for this. The line compartments is an option we typically always do on our Classics. All this is standard. This will be standard right here, slide tray. The prep for the cooler is standard. This is about the only part that I'm not a big fan of. I really like the big 3/4 pass-through that we normally get on this, and it's just not an option with this particular floor plan because of the slide mechanism. So the biggest benefit to that is you have dual electric elements. So if you're in a colder environment, you do a pretty good job maintaining the temperature just off the electric and not having to rely solely on the diesel for that to kick in. Central vac there is a 110 plug there, which makes it nice. Two-piece rear cap, so that, you know, obviously because of the additional height of the cap itself. New cap for 24. They also did the stainless steel inserts. All the way down the coach, you'll have the stainless running all the way down the side of the coach. If somebody says, you know, Darren, I like it, but I don't want stainless. So we can order it without any stainless. We can order it with black handles. We could even order it with the stainless inserts, either not there, and we could black them out or just not put them in there at all. We do have pictures of the coaches without the stainless inserts put into place, so lots of different things that we could do for somebody that might want to do something just slightly different. I'm going to come around to this side, but just with me being picky, I'm going to close these guys up. So we do have dual Victrons. They're 3,000 watts a piece, and then it does have the complete Victron system with your servo, the solar controller, and you'll have a touch 5 monitor inside. So come around, it does have the big 30,000 pound hitch on the back. You can do things to this to be able to tow up to 40,000 pounds, but really and truly, most of those trailers get extremely heavy tongue weight, so I would basically say 30,000 pounds with this particular hitch setup. It does have the glad hand receptacles here. We can put the glad hands on if somebody wants, but it is a nice Gen Y hitch to be able to do, you know, bicycle rack there, flat tow there, any kind of configuration. Transfer switch in there. There is a 50 amp plug additionally inside. They will all be standard with the 12.5 Onan generator. One thing we do a lot of on our classics is a little midship turn signal. That'll be a right-in item for coaches going from here forward. If somebody said, hey, Darren, I really want it, not a problem for us to take and put a midship turn signal right there. Now, for people that have seen a lot of my videos on the classics, you see a little bit of difference here. These are a taller compartment. So the overall height will be similar to what you'd have in a classic. You just have less distance between the top of the compartment and the bottom of the floor. So the classic compartment's just a little bit lower. Things that maybe the classic will get to in time because it's wasted space. I like the floor height being a little bit lower, which this is, compared to like your Explorer. You still have the storage in this compared to the classics. You have a little bit less storage. So 75 gray and black on this coach. You do have a macerator built in. They did go to essentially from the true tank to the sea level monitoring, so works a little bit better. And then all of the big lithium house batteries. So we have 4 270 amp hour batteries there. They do have heating built in. Like I said, because this coach is just a little bit shorter, the inverters simply don't fit on this side with that compartment. So Solstice is the exterior color on this. Let me turn my phone off, I apologize. Oasis interior, and it does have the Cape Cod cabinets. So those are a leather captain's seat. They are heated, they're not cooled. 120 gallon fuel tank inside. Somebody wanted some hood mirrors, we could easily add the hood mirrors to it. Add grill guards, we could do all kinds of different additions to it. I'm almost too short to get this. So I wanted you to see this. This is something new. This drawer type step. It's definitely catchy. My issue, being the clean freak that I am, is I know that people won't pull them out and clean them. So that's one thing that, you know, like when we get them here, we'll go we'll make sure that everything's cleaned out of your tracks. You're on a really dirty road, or, you know, if you're in a little bit of, you know, slush or anything like that, you know, the sand off the road would get stuck in those. So you definitely want to make sure you get all those things cleaned up. Very open. This is definitely a lot more open whenever you walk into the coach than the CMR is. It's been a crazy busy day, so I apologize about clearing my throat. We're using a new app, so I'm not going to be able to pause it to get your slide outs out. So the kitchen Schwintek, which is the kind of what they've run all the time, which had my rathers, I would rather have that turned into a hydraulic slide. So this guy right here will be the hydraulic slide on this side. So all other furniture, this is the Villa, and it is true leather. This is something that they kind of designed for Renegade in the XL product line. So plenty of room right here. You could option a fireplace there. That's just not something that I wanted to. I wanted the storage, but there again, if somebody wants a fireplace, we could order one. Same for a dishwasher right here. You're looking at a really good dishwasher myself, so I don't need any help getting me out of a job. So I don't like putting dirty dishes away. I like them clean all the time. So I'm a little bit of a weirdo in that regards, but ton of storage here. So if we wanted to go through and put some additional shelf in there, if you had, crock pot, any like sous vide or anything like that, we could easily go through and put additional places or additional shelves in place there. All this is standard right here. So rather than doing a solid surface or basically quartz, they just did and this is all Cambria quartz. There again, it's a good look to it. As I mentioned before, I wish they would have stacked another piece underneath, just kind of give it a little bit bolder look, a little bit thicker look, even though really not thick itself. TV does take and move away, so there again, a lot of storage. Open these up on the side and it goes all the way back around. We do a lot of Starlink, which on this particular coach we wouldn't bring a Starlink here. We do it over the entry itself. So ton of room. The refrigerator, we found the refrigerator kind of interesting. It was a little bothersome because at night, if you simply just pass by the refrigerator, this turns on. I like it extremely dark inside the coach whenever I'm driving. So I don't know how I feel about that. My preference would not to have that. This big screen, I guess, so you can watch TV. You can put your grocery list. To me, it's just excess. We did find this. We thought that this was a kind of waste of space, but we stopped and got all the guys some goodies at some convenience stores to bring back some big beef jerky, and it worked perfect in there, and it didn't smell up the rest of the fridge, so that was kind of handy to have. And this is, let me see if so this will take and move around. So if you had, like a glass bottle and needed to be able to lock it in place, boom, that'll keep it in place. If I have enough time to watch TV in the refrigerator, I think I've got a little bit too much time on my hand. So like I said, big ceiling height. This will be standard color as far as your ceiling accents. They don't take and match it to all of your wood stain themselves. They started doing for 23 and newer. Basically, they got away from the all wood valances. There again, if somebody wanted some additional wood inserts, easily take those out and order some wood inserts. Because this is Cambria quartz, it's relatively heavy compared to the LG they were using in the other product line. So this is fixed. This does not take and convert down. So definitely a two-person coach or somebody that can sit there and snore away in the theater seats. So you could order it with a fold-out couch. We find that most people who are buying the XLs are generally couples and would rather have that particular setup right there. Take and fold this down. Like I said, they do air ride. So one thing that was kind of unique, let me see if I can't get this fired up. So it does have 360 cams here.
FMX. If you missed the 5 o'clock YouTube code word, it was poker.
So a few different configurations you can take and do on this. So you can go up to your backup camera. We kind of screwed this up today. So you have a few different, basically kind of like a trailer for your backup camera. So if you're driving down the road and want to see a little bit further out, just simply go there, give you a little bit different vantage point. Like I said, just 360 cam. The reason why they did this was for additional trailer cams. So if you're pulling a trailer and want to be able to see it, it's a relatively inexpensive option. I would probably recommend anybody to do it. So it's not just a monitor, it's GPS as well. So it's Garmin GPS, and it does have TomTom built on the Freightliner set. So if you wanted to really make sure you couldn't get lost, you could run both units at the exact same time. I'll take and turn this off. So we'll come back. I'll bore you guys for a few more seconds running the slide outs out. Said Schwintech back there. One thing I noticed compared to like the 45 mid bath in the XL, there's a lot more room on the 43 because they kind of have to squish this bath right here on the 45 bath and a half XL. A little bit less room within this. So just preference. Essentially what you're picking up with the 45 is an additional seating group. You'll lose a little bit of storage. So imagine kind of losing the storage there, basically kind of turning it back around. I think we have a little visitor that came in with us that I want to get rid of. You think I can do this? I think I can get it all the way out? Try not to get it in your shoe. It's not on your shoe. I'm gonna leave this open. It's a little warm in here. We don't want to turn the air conditioner on to make a whole bunch of racket. So come in here. The only thing that I would like to add here, I like doing some additional lights underneath here. I think maybe in time we'll be able to do some small accent lights right there. You know, you have a really nice backsplash. It'd be nice to have some lights down there below. That's something we could easily add if a customer wanted to. Storage right here, and your plumbing is over here on the left-hand side, so you won't have access to that. Basically, that thing is screwed shut. If you need to access your plumbing, basically just reach back in there. So big pantry. I guess they've been doing this since 23s, whenever they got away from the big giant pantry, because they get kind of loaded down. So your touch 5 from your Victrons up there kind of lets you know what's going on with all your electrical, and then the rest of your electrical. So basically you have an inverter panel there and then a main panel. Stacked washer dryer. There again, I wish there were some additional lights. You can see it pretty good right here. But it'd be nice to have some more lights around the edge here. One thing that I forgot, that I'm not ever too impressed with this because I don't like things that break, but you know, fortunately we've had pretty good luck. So this will be standard for the XL. So if you were option up a Classic, you could probably get a Classic pretty well the same with probably less features on a Classic, but just kind of preference on what you're looking for. Did you want me to? I think I messed up. So see this guy right here. So you have a lot of different options here. Wash your vegetables off. I think I'd probably throw that away because I don't like things rattling. It's gonna rattle when you're driving down the road. Just things. Just gotta go into place. I guess if you did that. Niceties that not always that nice for me personally. So fresh water is underneath the bed. So you'll have 150 gallons. So you have 275-gallon tanks below. Open this for people that just like to see. You do have 2 hydronic registers on each side of the bed. So, which brings me to another point. So that is the water that we had left after 2 showers. So I'll show you that in the back, but if you want to talk about a shower that doesn't conserve, that's it right back there. You know, it was nice because we took a long hot shower, but we burned up, 100 plus gallons of water. So just know that if you're trying to conserve in boondock, you probably need to do something different with the shower in the back. So you do have, this is a 66-inch wide bed. We do have a customer that optioned a 72-inch wide bed, so we have to do something different here. So we're just going to try to get these things shipped separate for us to take and cut them down, maybe slide them underneath there. So that's kind of what you lose when you run to the 72 versus 66. All this will be standard, so that's your window shades. All your day shades are still manual. A bit of storage there, nothing wild and crazy. They did introduce a plug back in there if you had a CPAP or something like that. So open up this guy right here. A ton of room, where again, this was something new on the Classics and some of the other models. Open this guy. I've seen some people do some remodels after the fact and do some drawers here. And I think I would rather have drawers right there because I'd probably put my socks and underwear there where I can use them every single day. Cedar lined is also standard. So come to the back. So my partner prefers this big giant mirror right here. I like storage, so kind of matter of preference. You lose the storage with the big giant mirror. I was worried about them cracking and breaking. I think they pretty much figured that out. I think initially they had 1 or 2 break, but there again, not a huge deal to take and pull off the wall if you needed to. Basically 4 screws, and they probably do some glue in the back, but it is backlit. I think probably more females will like this larger mirror. Storage, I mean, you have a decent amount of storage elsewhere, so there again, just kind of preference. Small drawer there. And there again, if somebody said, hey, you know, Darren, we want a 110 back in there, be able to, you know, leave a hairdryer plugged in all the time, whether it's there or there, not a problem for us to take it ahead, anything like that. They did a little bit different mechanism on the doors themselves. So if you'll, you know, anybody that's had a Renegade complains about how hard it is to take and pull the magnet off the back. This is something really simple that, you know, Rev and, you know, Tiffin and stuff like that have been doing in the past. So essentially there's just a little rod that goes up in place. Question is, does it lock on this side? Let's see. It does lock in that side, so you don't have to worry about putting a little gizmo in there that's a giant pain in the rear. So I'm going to get in the shower. Does have the flip down seat. So decent storage here. Like I said, you'll notice that they use the kitchen backsplash in here and then the bath backsplash on the floor. It's, you know, luckily we filled up the coach with reverse osmosis water, so everything's nice and clean, no water. But I mean, I can imagine if you were a neat freak, you might have a lot of water spots on this, but not in our case. We generally wipe everything down anyhow, but was something kind of nice to have, but we don't go to RV parks too much, so it doesn't benefit us too much to have this nice thing. Whenever you want to conserve, turn this guy on, off. So there again, just kind of my 2 cents on the subject. You'll see kind of the backlit. That's something that kind of sets this apart from the classic line. So all in all, you know, I mean, if I was going to probably score the coach, I would probably say, you know, a 9 on a scale of 1 to 10. There's just a few things that, you know, I would personally like to do different, but, you know, great first coach. You know, we kind of delayed the very first XLs. Wanted to kind of get, you know, a few of the kinks worked out. One thing that we noticed, they weren't doing the big picture windows. From here on out, it will be an option to do either a 30-inch tall picture window or a 36-inch tall picture window. So a lot of variations coming on down the line. We could accommodate some customers with an XL. Probably it'd be March of this year for delivery, March to April. So we do have a few spots out there for somebody that does want an XL. But you know, happy with what they integrated in. Happy with the ceiling height. I'm happy with the, you know, keeping the floor height relatively low. So lots of pluses. It rides and drives great, nice and quiet. I believe all the, you know, there's really not too much fluff in here other than maybe, you know, the shower head and the refrigerator itself. I think MSRP on this is a little over 700 grand. You can probably expect to pay for most XLs a little over 600. So pretty much right in line of buying a classic once you load up a classic and put, you know, the big lithium batteries and you start putting all of the you know, the paint jobs and everything. So be just kind of a similar product, just kind of, you know, preference wise on what you might be looking for. But glad you guys came and watched this video. We'll try to link all the 3 videos together up on YouTube. We're headed back. I'm headed back first thing in the morning, get some coaches rounded up and get them back to Texas. Big coach business is still alive and well. We sold our first Vienna today, so we're pretty happy to kind of get in some other branches of the Renegade line. Make sure you guys check out our website, pmcrv.com. That's PMC Performance Motor Coach RV.com, PMCRV.com. Make sure you guys keep on coming back. Appreciate you guys always watching the video, and make sure you guys like, tag, and subscribe.